Thank you for the follow. Good morning, Holiday. Thank you for the follow, Morgan. Moranguin. Oh my gosh, that emote is so cute. What the heck? I don't know what the heck. Oh, here it is. Know if something's cut off. I'm trying to figure out if something's cut off. That's me!
Don't you walk away from me, sir.
Man, that is get in the right category. Hey, how you doing?
No! No! Oh my god! You're dead.
Alright. Wait, why does the freaking... Why does it look cut? Something's going on.
We are live. Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
I don't know what we did last time we streamed
gets
DVD.
me so hyped.
So hype. Oh my goodness. It's so good. And the jump scare at the end is necessary.
Yes. So, hi, everybody around the
1
world, and
second.
YouTube and Twitch and OpenRec. We're in Japanese. We're in Portuguese.
Oh.
We are in
Oh my
Spanish
God.
and, of course, English.
We did it.
That's what we're
We did
capable
it.
of.
It's good.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. This is
Perfect.
DVD's official 8th anniversary celebration.
Yes, and it's truly amazing to already
Hi,
know that we're on
Scooby.
our
Hi,
third
Sonny.
live stream of the year.
How you doing?
With only more to come, and we just have to say thank you on behalf of the entire Dead by Daylight team for 8 amazing years of support from community worldwide.
Yep. So today we are going to be looking at everything
It's
that's
just
coming over the
different,
coming
Dr.
year.
Honeycutt.
We're
In my
gonna be
opinion, there's no
starting
need to like
pretty
compare
soon
the
after
two.
our little intro here
They
with something
they
that
should both
we
be
already
able
teased
to
a few days ago,
coexist
and that's
peacefully.
Dungeons
You know what I mean?
and Dragons coming to Dead by Daylight. So it's going to be a full
Dungeons and
chapter. We're gonna
Dragons!
dive into that, and in fact, after the show today, that will be playable on Steam on the PTB.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
what?
But this wouldn't be a Dead by Daylight anniversary live stream without a couple of surprises. So you're definitely
Hi,
going to want to
Sophie. How
stay
you
for
doing?
the full broadcast to see everything we've got to reveal today. But we've also got a live Q&A. So if you have any questions, please do make sure to drop them in your respective chats so we can answer as many as possible at the end of the stream. But let's go ahead and take a look at what our run of show is for today.
Yep, we've got a great one lined up. We're going to be joined by our buds, Steph and Justin, to walk you through our Year 9, which is a crazy number, Year 9 content and design roadmap. And then after that, Senior Product Manager Derek is going to join us to talk about upcoming gameplay and quality of life improvements coming to the game, including one that you're not going to want to miss.
Yes, and then we'll have Dave and Janik here to reveal everything coming with the latest chapters for Dead by Daylight. Then we're going to have some updates about the other projects we've got in the world of DVD, that being the casting of Frank Stone by Supermassive and an unnamed multiplayer PvE game by Midwinter. Then we'll have Justin, a completely different Justin from the one Eric talked about, coming in to break down this year's in-game shenanigans for the anniversary. And last, we'll have our Q&A, which, once again, drop your questions in the chat so we can answer as many as possible. And who knows, we might have some other little surprises.
I agree, Dr.
And while you're
Honeycat.
dropping your questions, we
But
thought
you
we would
can't
drop some
deny-
content on you. You like that?
Yeah,
You
I like
can't
that.
Made
deny
that up. Twitch drops
how,
are back. So if you've watched our
like,
streams before,
DBD has
we like to offer Twitch drops to our viewers.
has
and
been the
today is no
forefront of
exception.
horror
So
ASINs
they're live
for
right
so
now,
long, you know.
and you can get them
They
by
are
connecting
doing
your
lots of
behavior
things
account to your
right.
Twitch account. So there should be a QR code you can see. There should be links in the Twitch chat to jump over and get that hooked up if you're not already.
Yes, and if you're new to Twitch Drops with Dead by Daylight, all you need to know is that by watching any Dead by Daylight stream in the Twitch directory, you'll be accruing watch time, which will allow you
We
to
love
claim
drops.
3 of the Twitch Drops we have active today until May 28th. The first one, if you've already been with us since the start of our stream, you're already on your way to claiming, which is going to be the Totem in-game badge. And then after this, if you watch any other Dead by Daylight stream for 4 hours, you'll get the Crimson Hue in-game banner. And then lastly, for 8 years, 8 watching time,
Yep.
you'll be able to get the Greenville, Welcome to Greenville in-game banner.
What?
Yep,
8
so
years of
enjoy those
watching
drops,
time?
But, we
That's a
mentioned
long
surprises, and we've got one to kick the show off
I
with.
know.
So the first of which is
Oh, yeah.
actually a new game.
Oh my God,
We-
what? What the?
We've got a game that we haven't told anybody about yet. It's from the world of Dead by Daylight. We're going to share it with you right now. It features some familiar faces. And most importantly, it is super duper fun. And I think you'll be surprised. So let's take a look.
Dwight and Claude? Are they gonna be in a... What the fog?
Well, you've
Oh
done
my
it now,
God.
Dwight. You just had to touch the cursed board game. Now, you and your friend are trapped in our world, and danger is everywhere. But don't despair. Use your new magic abilities against the swarms of monsters that want you dead. Run, jump, and shoot to collect blood
This
points
is
to
so
repair
cute.
generators,
What the
increasing your
heck?
powers
There's
along the way.
generators.
Unlock the door to escape together. Did you just die? It's not over yet. Use spells to keep your friend alive until they can revive you. Do you and your friend have what it takes to survive? Ponder this as you ask yourselves, what the fuck?
Wait, that's so cute. What the heck? Get the game for free with your behavior account. Dang!
Oh my God, that song is so earwormy. It's gonna get stuck in my head.
The game itself is like the guitar solo of video games.
Yeah, like I'm already gonna walk away and
That's
just
so cute.
Okay, but anyway, yes, you saw that correctly. What the Fog is now available, and it's not only that, but it's free for current behavior account holders and new subscribers. But we do have a limit of free keys, so you're gonna want to make sure that you make your behavior account after the stream, of course, or in another tab. Just don't leave. But go ahead and grab that, claim it on your
What is
account.
that game?
And if you're unable
Cuteness is
to,
what it is.
then you're able to get it on Steam, which is exclusively
What the
on Steam
fuck?
for $4.99 USD.
Yep, and as you might expect with the drops, now a free game. A lot of people watching the stream. There might be some load on our behavior login system, so if there is, bear with us. We will get you in the door, and don't worry, you'll get the game. So as you might have been able to tell from that trailer, What the Fog, which is just the best title.
I like
it's a
it.
two-person co-op roguelite. The simple goal of surviving and escaping with each increasingly difficult level. So to do that, you go head-to-head with
Cat,
swarms
we
of
should play it
monsters
together.
and bosses, and as we mentioned, lots of heavy metal guitar.
Yes. So Eric and I got to play it before launch, and honestly, it was so crazy fun. Like, I had that song stuck in my head for weeks. But you need to make sure that you get your hands on it so that you can have fun, survive, and then get the fog out.
Look at the Dungeons. Wait,
So,
did
that out of the way. See, you weren't
Did you see
expecting
the
that. I'm like,
Dungeons
what
and
the prize
Dragons
is?
thing in the
We're
background?
gonna dive into the show.
It's not
So
there
we're going to
anymore.
hand things over to Stefan and Justin to talk
Did it
about
have
Dead
the
by
killer
Daylight's
on it?
Year 9 roadmap.
Did y'all see that? It kind of looked like it had the killer on it. Dot dot dot. Old school fix it. Did y'all see when we raided Kid RL yesterday and then we gave him Twitch shirts? Did y'all catch that? No, roadmap is like what they're gonna be planning for the future.
Thank you for joining us.
Shijin.
It's great to be back with you celebrating Dead by Daylight's 8th year anniversary. I'm Stéphane Beauchamp, head of production.
And I am Justin Brown, product director. Really excited to be here with you today.
Oh, they had to
talk
get
a
them-
little bit
they had to
about
get
Dead by
people
Daylight's
switched
Year
out.
9 roadmap.
I'm going to take a second
No,
here
that's
at the top
awesome.
of the
It
show
was
to
so
give a
wholesome.
big shout out to our absolutely phenomenal team that's working on the game day in, day out. They are the reason we are here with
We're
you
so
today
excited.
and
It was so
celebrate 8
cute.
amazing years of
When do we
Dead by
get to see
Daylight.
old school on one of those?
Before going any further, I just want to address something that's probably going to get talked about quite a bit in
I think
the
he's
chats
super
across
behind the
the
scenes.
different channels. We know since the last update, there's been a rubber banding issue that's been plaguing the game. The team has been working extremely hard at it over the last few weeks. We have a tentative fix that the team has been working on that
Sorry,
we're
my
hoping
mom
to
is-
test on the PTB later today. If everything is successful with that, we will be deploying that fix to live, and hopefully it should improve the situation. But it's still to be confirmed. So keep an eye on our channels for that. We'll keep you all posted about this. Moving into the future a little bit. The coming year for Dead by Daylight is going to be huge, and that's saying something coming off of our biggest years to date. Since the last anniversary, we have released amazing licensed content such as Alien, Chucky, Alan Wake, and a personal favorite of mine, Nick Cage, such an amazing addition to the game. On top of that, we've also released our most popular original chapter to date, All Things Wicked.
Of course, and we can't forget, we did the Halloween event, which was bigger and better than ever with the introduction of the Void. This year, we introduced the concept of modifiers in Dead by Daylight, starting in February. Lights Out. We followed it with My Little Oni, and soon, later this week, we'll introduce Chaos Shuffle, the third one. We took a few steps towards improving the player experience between anti-face camp, blood web UX improvements, the killer FOV slider, survivor DC bots, and even the search bar. So there's a lot there. And finally, we've taken a few big steps towards increasing our transparency, our communication with regular live streams on each of our content releases thus far.
Enough talking about the past, let's dive into the future and what's really coming up for this year. We're happy to announce today that we have 6 new chapters currently in the works, and 2 of those chapters will be survivor-only chapters for this year. On top of that, we'll have the
Sorry,
usual
my
4
mom's
new films
asking
that
me
are going to be coming
questions.
out
She's at Target
spread
right
throughout
now.
the year. As we've talked
It
a
was
little bit
time
and teased
sensitive, I'm sorry.
even earlier last week, the first chapter that's going to be coming out is Dungeons and Dragons. And we're actually going to deep dive that in a soon-to-come segment shortly after this one, and it really promises to bring great gameplay and
Wait,
new
I missed
characters to
that.
the world of Dead by Daylight.
Of course, and we're going to follow that with a licensed survivor, a character who truly embodies the meaning of that word. After that, an iconic killer survivor duel will be coming into the fog, and if you stick around to the end of the show, you're going to get a
Licensed
little
survivor
preview as to
only.
what that will be. We'll finish off 2024 with an original Killer and Survivor chapter, and we'll finish off the Year 9 roadmap with a licensed Killer-only chapter, followed by an original Survivor-only.
It's a lot of stuff coming up.
That's a lot of stuff.
Moving a bit away from our content roadmap, we're going to take a closer look at the 4 pillars out of which the year will be based on. For those of you who have been with us for a long time, you'll see that there's consistency throughout the years with the 4 pillars that we're focusing on, but we're really adjusting the contents of each so that we're working on the features that have the most value and the most interest to all of our players
To be
in
honest,
ways where we
Kat,
can
like
expand the game further. And further.
Nicolas Cage
course, and we're
would
gonna
be
start off with the
considered
trust
that,
and
and that
security
came
pillar.
out of like
Firstly,
left field.
we're thrilled with the response to our regular
So
broadcasts.
I don't know if we could ever guess
and
it.
We're really happy to let you know you can fully expect more to come as we progress throughout the year, accompanying all of our major releases. Security is a topic we rarely talk about publicly for good reason. But one thing I will inform you all of is last year we set out to start tackling this AFK bots problem that we see, especially in some regions of the game. Phase 1 had very promising results, and we're certainly going to be taking that forward another step into Phase 2 in the coming year. Our next two pillars, live balance and quality of life, we won't discuss too much. Of course, you can expect regular live balance updates throughout the year and new quality of life, but my friend and colleague Derek will be coming up in the gameplay improvement segment to cover more on that topic, including an announcement on one of the most highly requested features ever in Dead by Daylight.
This one's going to be really, really exciting. Stay tuned for that because that is really something interesting coming up. Last but not least, our fourth pillar.
You guys know what
events
that is,
evolution.
right?
Events have always been a fundamental part
I've
of the
seen
game,
that all.
especially
I've
the
seen it
seasonal
all over
events.
the place.
And this is something we're going to keep pushing forward over the coming years.
Hi, Sidekick, how are you?
With this year, we're starting to do a bit of a
Comms?
split where we're going to have our events happening on a separate matchmaking queue, which essentially means that at any time there's an event ongoing, you can decide to still play normal Dead by Daylight if that's what you're looking for, but you can also go into the event-specific queue and play some of that gameplay. This is really going to allow us to push
I think
gameplay
Stevie
further and
O's
further
right. I've seen
away
it all
from
over
the typical
Twitter.
way Dead by Daylight normally works, and it's going to be a very interesting way for us to approach events in a different way.
Oh,
On
I
top
don't
of
know.
that,
Maybe
we can
Cat.
also
I thought I
expect,
just kind
more
of thought they were
modifiers to
going to
make it in
dive
the
into
game,
that more.
whether it's the one we've talked about just before that are going to be revisited throughout the year, or introducing new modifiers that are either tweaks on something or something completely different. But modifiers is just a
You thought
little
it was
sliver
something
of what we're
different too?
planning to
I
do
guess
this
we'll
year. I
find
think we have
out.
something a little bigger that might be coming up.
Absolutely, and that's why I'm so happy to be here and let you guys know that for the first time ever, this summer, Dead by Daylight will have a new mode, not modifier, but a mode coming
Mode.
to you all. We've been listening and hearing your feedback, and I'm really happy to let you know that this summer, replacing Scorching Barbecue will be the first ever time-limited 2v8 mode in Dead by Daylight.
2v8.
We'll be doing a full breakdown of what this mode is when we get closer to the release. But for now, I'm going to thank my friend Stefan for joining me, invite my friend Matt to
That's
the couch to talk a
cool.
little bit more about this, and here's a snippet of what's to come.
Chaos 2v8. Oh my god. Hillbilly Huntress. That's gonna be pure chaos.
Boom. Thank you for joining us, Matt. Well, I know it's still early and everything is subject to change.
Those
I
cages
think it's
are
going to
cool.
be
They
really fun
are.
to sort of let the community in on some of our plans for this upcoming 2v8 introduction.
Absolutely. Thanks,
That's
Justin.
exciting. New
So yeah,
game mode.
2v8 is coming to DBD. This is a new game mode, which is really cool. Other gameplay events that we've done before, so Lights Out, My Little Oni,
Maybe this will bring me back to
soon
DVD.
Chaos Shuffle. These are what we're calling modifiers. And modifiers
Man, what
basically
the
take
fuck.
a DBD
Groovy,
match,
thank you for the
change a
follow,
few
welcome.
things, but ultimately you're still playing DBD. With this new game mode, 2v8, we're fundamentally changing the way that you play Dead by Daylight. In this particular case, there's 2 killers, 8
2v8,
survivors,
2 plus
and a
8
bunch of new
equals
changes
10 gifted
that we're going to
subs.
get into very shortly.
It looks
The
as
focus with
though
2v8, we
you
really wanted to
need more,
Hone in on what's exciting and
more
fun
aims at
and
you in
chaotic
your
with
life.
DBD, and we're leaning more into a party mode kind of vibe rather than something that's super competitive. It's also worth mentioning that the way that we're building this, it's an iterative process, right? And this is just the first iteration. So we'll be looking to add more content, more gameplay in the future based on community feedback.
My cheeks hurt from
Absolutely,
smiling
and I'm
so
super
much
excited
already
to see
today.
what everybody says about this
Welcoming
mode
on
when it
in
comes out.
Exit,
So first, let's
Black
break down a few of
Album,
the key changes that
XP,
we know are
Roberto,
going to be
Malibu,
coming for
Emily,
2v8
Vast,
this summer.
Oddball,
I mean, of course, there's
Skywolf
still
and
generators, there's still exit gates, there's just
Star-Lord.
more of them. We've made
Thank
5
you so
maps
much for getting
bigger
us
to
to our
accommodate all of
daily
the action, all
goal.
of the chaos.
You're the
And
best.
we're also doing away with perks in this mode, instead introducing a new sort of 2v8 exclusive system
That was really
called
sweet.
classes for survivors.
That's right. Yeah, so when it comes to survivors, basically once you've chosen your character, you can select and equip a player class. And this class is effectively
Wait,
your power for the match. And it
what?
helps players identify what your role is within the team. So instead of mixing and matching perks, instead we really wanted to focus on a particular playstyle for this, and whether it's generator repair, healing, looping, speed, that kind of thing, that's what we're really going for with these classes.
Of course, and there's also just cowering in the corner, which is my
Absolutely.
own preferred playstyle for Survivor, which is great. And it'll work a little differently for killers. You'll be able to choose from one of the 5 original killers, each with their own specific gameplay. Killers obviously have powers, so they don't have classes in this mode, but we will be introducing a new mechanic, which is a team power. For example, if you are the Wraith, when you cloak yourself, if your teammate is within a certain radius of you, they will also get the undetectable status effect, allowing you to coordinate a sort of team stealth attack. Should make for some entertainment. The reason that we're focusing on the 5 original killers
Yo,
is
this
just to
is
make
gonna
sure
be
that
pure
this is
chaos.
as accessible as possible. They're all free. Everybody can play them. Everybody can have fun. We want you to enjoy the content and give us your feedback. And in my opinion, the best part of this whole mode is the 2. It's the first time ever that success and failure as a killer does not rely solely on your shoulders. You have a teammate to sort of benefit
I
from,
like
learn
that.
from, or even, blame when things go
Or
wrong.
even blame.
So working together is just going to make the match so much more fun, so much more efficient.
Absolutely. Lastly, it's worth mentioning that for this mode, we really wanted to keep the action pace and the momentum flowing. During our playtests, we found that the process of downing a survivor, picking them up, carrying them to the hook, it really started to slow things down for this mode in particular. So we're doing away with hooks as well. There's no hooks in 2v8. Instead, once a killer downs a survivor, they'll be able to send them to a cage. This works very similar to Pyramid Head. It will teleport the survivor to another part of the map, away from the killers.
That makes sense because
And
there's
of
so many
course, this
survivors.
still counts as hook states. So once you've been hooked 3 times, you'll be out of the match. And as Justin said before, there will be 5 original killers coming to this iteration of this game mode, but we will be looking to add more as we iterate on it and add more to it. Of course, we'll also be improving the game as it goes along, so content will be coming in as well as updates to classes and gameplay.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me, Matt. And to all of you at home, if you want to learn more about 2v8, please join us in our July live stream. We will hope you're looking forward to this year 9. For now, back to you, Eric and Dork.
I think 2v8 sounds like a lot of fun. I think that will bring a lot of people back to the game. People have been really, really, really wanting new game modes. The hype is real for me right now. I think that sounds like a lot of fun. And like for me, I'm always so scared to play DVD Killer because it's so much pressure when you're just by yourself. But if you have a friend to play Killer with, 2v8, I feel like
my God,
that's so
that
much
roadmap.
pressure relieved.
Great segment. Great beard, Stefan. People were loving the
may
whip
actually-
beard
Heck
in
yeah,
chat.
Kat, let's go.
But the real story, 2v8.
2v8, yes. I cannot wait to dodge hatchets and chainsaws at the same time.
I can't wait for our killers to finally have friends that they can play
Yeah,
with.
get some friends in the fog. Forge friendships in the fog.
But that was a great segment to watch. I loved the reactions in chat. I think the guys did a really good job of explaining this is a first iteration, and there's going to be a lot of changes based on community feedback.
Dodge,
so
dip,
that's why
dive,
we're not
dodge,
just flipping the
dodge.
switch and making it permanent all
Die.
of a sudden. You need to
Die.
actually get the mode where we want it. But we're using the word mode, which means a lot, so pay attention. And speaking of paying attention, the website. That's a transition. That doesn't make any sense. But the website for What the Fog has been overwhelmed by demand, as predicted. People love that cute little game. So we're working on it. Stay tuned. Don't worry. We have lots and lots of keys for it. So just as soon as we're able to tell you it's back up, we'll give you a mention on the stream here or in the chat.
Yeah. We definitely know you guys want to get your
What the
hands
Fog
on it,
truly
but
has
what
me
we
enamored.
can
It's
do is
so
tell you about something you can get
cute.
your hands on today.
Yes, and so recently, I think it was December, we released 3 DLC packs. They're called Maddening Darkness, Old Wounds, and Macabre Tales. That was a way for players to get a big bunch of our older content all in 1 or 3 goes. And so we're actually going to be doing that again.
Yeah, so this pack is actually going to pick up exactly where the last one left off, which is going to be the Endless Hunt pack. And in this pack, you're going to get 9 playable characters, starting with Portrait of Murder, Roots of Dread, Forge in the Fog, and Tools of Torment. And along with this pack is going to be all the additional outfits and DLC exclusive items. But of course, if you don't want to get the pack, they will be individually marked down in the in-game store, so you can get them there.
Yes, so that Endless Hunt pack is actually available right now. It is the best way, especially if you're a newer player to Dead by Daylight, to get a big bunch of great content. So that out of the way, we want to keep the train rolling. Next up, we're going to be welcoming Derek, right where you're sitting. He's going to tell us all about gameplay improvements and quality of life improvements coming to Dead by Daylight, including a very big one that people have requested for ages. So let's talk to Derek.
What's that? Oh.
Welcome back, everybody, and welcome Derek to our stream for the first time.
Okay, cat
Derek is from
sunskin.
a product management team. He works with the dev team on
Hold on, let me
creating all
cover
sorts of
Peanut.
cool quality of life updates, gameplay updates, and he's here to tell you about some good ones today. Derek, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Going to be even better after this segment when we hear what you get to say. So I already know what you've got to say, but I think people are going to be excited to hear about it. The upcoming challenge system. This isn't something we've told people about. Why don't you tell them about it right now? How is it going to benefit our players?
So we really wanted to deliver new in-game challenges to players and new ways for them to be constantly rewarded outside of just tomes and archives. So we're going to be introducing a new challenge system, which is a system of challenges, hence the name.
Perfect.
That players are going to be able to complete completely passively. That means that players don't need to actively select the challenge that they want to complete, and they can complete multiple of them at the same time. Initially, we're going to start with daily challenges, weekly challenges, and event challenges. And later on, we want to expand those into other parts of the game as well.
Oh, like Fortnite.
We think that this is going to be a great way for players to be constantly rewarded just for logging in and playing DBD. And it's going to be an amazing experience for everybody.
I think
I
that's
like
a really
that.
great addition. I think people in the community are going to really appreciate just being rewarded for doing what they already do, not having to go out and seek it, but just it's happening in the background at all times. That's really great. So another great thing that we're adding actually is how we talk to our players. That's the main job of my team, is talking and listening to our players. But we do it out in the world. We do it on social media. We do it on TikTok and Twitter and other places. But in-game is obviously the best place to talk to people, and you've got some updates there.
Yeah, we're here to make the players' lives easier and your life easier as well. So we're going to be introducing a new inbox-based system that will help connect players with the news that you have to announce, including patch notes, announcements, rewards, and a lot more. That way, players will see less pop-ups when they launched into the game, and they'll be able to get into their games quicker. And overall, the players will be able to stay connected with the world of DBD and the news that you have to announce.
Yeah, and it gives us new tools, right? Like being able to tell people the patch notes in detail is something we couldn't do before, and now we can. So again, you don't have to go find it on the web, but you'll be able to get it in the game. Pop-ups, not pop-ups, but notifications for rewards as well is another great improvement. So really good work there by the team. But we're not done.
Zombie, good morning,
actually, this
how
is
are
something
you?
people are familiar with, the Finisher Mori system. We tested it out a while back in PTB, got a ton of great feedback from the community. The team took that feedback, went back to the shop to tinker with it, and we've got the final version to tell people about now.
Right. I love Finisher Moris. I think they're a really amazing
Yes,
showcase for how
Smith!
deadly and gruesome our killers can be.
For the
But we also
summer.
acknowledge that there was some room for improvement from the survivor's perspective.
You
So
gonna
like
play
I said,
killer
we've
with
taken
me?
the feedback, we've reiterated on it, and tried to land on what was the best player experience. So, in a coming update, Finisher Moris are going to become a baseline feature for all killers in the game. That means that killers are going to have access to the killer Finisher Moris by default, but they're only going to be able to use them on the last remaining survivor. That way, if the killer is able to successfully pull it off, we get an exciting conclusion to the match, and the survivors can feel that the game's ended in a fair way, and this match went smoothly.
I don't
and
know
it
if
was a really
Nurse is
exciting
in the
experience for
original
everybody.
ones. They said
Mori
race.
offerings are also
They
gonna
said
be updated to
huntress,
instead
and
give
they
bonus
said
blood points, so that it'll be a
hillbilly.
more rewarding
I don't know who
experience for killers
else.
if they're able to pull it off.
So
Dude,
the
if
killer's
nurse is
gonna want
in
to land
it.
that at the
Mhm.
end.
Yes.
It happens at the end, like you said, so we're not killing the flow of the match.
My mom just
I
got
think
home,
it's
so
a
I'm
really
muted.
great balance from where we started and the feedback that we got. So kudos to you and the team.
Mhm.
And that's all we've got from you today. Unfortunately, you have to go, but the show is far from over. Next up, we're going to hear about the new chapter coming to Dead by Daylight. So stay tuned, everybody, and thank you, Derek, for your time.
Thank you for having me.
I'm already so excited for the challenges and the finisher, Mori.
I just want to shout out Derek for dropping so casually such a highly anticipated feature with cross progression.
Yes, cross progression is finally coming. Super excited, and it's another reason.
Wait,
for
I
you to
didn't
make your
even hear
behavior
him
count.
mention
So
cross
not only will you be able to get what the
Did
fog
I
for free,
zone
but you'll
out?
also be prepping yourself for cross progression, which we know that's something you're once again gonna have to be waiting to get your hands on. But we can now talk about merch, which you can get your hands on right now. So with
Oh my
the
God,
merch
look at
store,
her
we've got the
shirt!
always
Wait,
popular mystery
Cat!
box is coming back for this anniversary. And obviously
look
because
at
of
her
the name, I
shirt.
can't tell you what's in the box. Maybe I'll try,
What's
But,
in the box?
Anyway, in the boxes, you're going to see 4 very
Her
exclusive
shirt is for sale right
DVD
now on the DVD
items
store.
specifically for this
It's
release.
so cute. It's
It's
a
also gonna
cat
include
with
an
the
art
knife.
print, where some of them are actually signed by our creative director, Dave Richard.
Which is pretty amazing. I had Dave sign my chest backstage. So I won't
Oh.
be sharing that to save you all, but he's got a great signature, one of the best. It's a really cool piece too. If you haven't gotten a mystery box in the past, it's always just a fun unboxing process. So follow the QR code on screen, scan it, and go get it. But we also have an update to the DBD board game.
Oh, yeah, you're right. There is going to be an expansion pack for the Dead by Daylight, the board game. And this is going to be called the Malicious expansion. This comes with 3 new killers, the Artist, the Dredge, and the Knight, and 4 new survivors, Michaela, Jonah, Hattie, and Vittorio. It's also going to come with 2
Wraith
new
Huntress
maps,
will be
which are going to be the
nasty.
Gardner Joy and the Forsaken Boneyard.
They
It's super
said
exciting.
that
I'm
if
so
you
happy to see the success
play
of the board
Wraith
game. I'm
and
such
you're
a
near your
tabletop
teammate,
nerd
you
that,
can cloak.
it's
Not
just such
cloak,
good
but you
quality,
can
and I'm glad that people are
you
resonating
can
with
give
it,
your
so shout out
teammate
to level99games.com, which is where you want to go to pre-order it. You'll get it later this summer. Obviously, the DBD merch shop as well is available. You can open it up on your phone with that QR code. You can go to another tab and get some shiny stuff.
Yes, it'll be really nice, especially like you said in the summer. Play it outside, touch some grass at the same time. So, other than that, if you have any questions about the content we've been dropping so far, because it's been a lot of content, we will have our live Q&A segment at the end of the stream. So make sure you're dropping your questions into the chat. But other than that, roll initiative, because it's time to talk about Dungeons and Dragons.
Peanuts going nuts.
Guided wanderers. First there were many, and now so few. How little you must value your lives to take a single
I like their cosmetics.
significant breath in my sanctum. I'm afraid there will be no quick death for you. No escape from this suffering.
Who is it? They're Elven? They are! They are!
Shall draw out your ending as I see fit.
And is this a map that they're in? Because it looks cool.
For in dark
This is the new DVD
places
pack.
such as
Yeah.
this,
New chapter. D&D. Hi, McToasty. Hi, Belt.
must keep themselves entertained.
Hello, friends. I'm Mathieu Côté, Head of Partnerships for Behavior Digital, and I'm extremely happy to be joined here today by Sean from our friends at Wizard of the Coast, who is going to be with me talking about what we just saw. Hi, Sean.
Hey, Matthew.
Elves and DVD.
Pleasure.
Cat's coming
we
back.
just saw the trailer here.
Hi,
I
Cotex.
still have goosebumps.
How are you? Good
This
morning.
is so amazing. Like I was saying earlier.
Sorry, the
I
dogs are
have,
going crazy.
Inner child in me that's thrilled right now. I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons since I'm 10 years old, and it's
It
an
keeps
absolute dream
thundering,
come true.
so
Thank you so
Milo's
much
like
for being
freaking
a
out.
part of that.
Kilala's freaking out. So
Of course, yeah,
I
my
apologize.
pleasure. I 10-year-old Sean wakes up every day realizing that he works at Wizards of the Coast. Dream job.
It's
so
Vecna,
we're
Cat.
super aligned on that.
So, Dungeons & Dragons is probably one of the biggest gateways that people have had to how to craft stories, how to design
Aren't we all
games, how to
Smith?
create experiences for other people. We've seen it, of course, within the dev team. There's so many people who've got their first taste of designing games through Dungeons & Dragons. Have you seen this to be true with other developers that you've worked with?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I always say it's the easiest
Why
thing
did
about my
Rexy
job
say
is I never have
no?
to teach people.
I
what
think
D&D
because
is
I
or what the
had
brand
to
is about,
tab for a
because
second
when I'm working with the developer,
to
there's-
get Milo on my
I
lap because
guarantee
he
you
was
the person
freaking
that I'm
out about
talking
the
to has
thunder.
played, and everybody on their team has played,
I
or at the very
think.
least is like very aware of what the game is and what it entails. It makes
Sorry,
my job
Rexy.
very,
I'm
very
sorry.
easy.
I'm sorry.
You know, I always joke around. D&D is kind of this like the building block or like the
How are
connective
you, Val?
tissue between game designers. You can be at a gaming convention and you're talking to other developers, and if you have nothing else in common,
Did
just
you
start
see
talking
the
to other
elves,
people.
Kotex?
Yeah, it's true. It's kind of a common language. There's so
The
many
survivors
common
were
references there.
elves.
For me personally, like I said, it's a dream come true. I still play Dungeons and Dragons every week with my group of friends. I'm the forever DM in that group, and I know that there are a couple of other people on my team who were absolutely thrilled to be a part of this. What made sense for Wizard of the Coast to enter into this collaboration?
That's a great question. I think that exploring horror is always something that's really, really interested us. Dungeons and Dragons has dipped its toes in horror before. You know, we've got modules like Curse of Strahd. We've got a lot of different horror elements we've brought together in some of our monsters. Obviously, characters like Vecna have been super horror driven. So when the idea popped up on our radar, hey, you know, what do you think about working together with Behavior on a Dead by Daylight module? Like the light turned on instantly. I don't think anybody was. There were no question marks. It was mostly just exclamation points. It's like how do we do this the best, right? Like let's find the coolest character. Let's find the coolest setting. Let's really make this a true sort of celebration of D&D inside of Dead by Daylight and make it a way that feels super native to that game.
Yeah, and you mentioned horror. I mean, I know a lot of people will probably think that their first thought when they think of Dungeons and Dragons is not necessarily horror, but there is
Do you guys
quite a lot of
think
potential for horror.
that
there.
in
I
that
mean, it is a
teaser
very
they
flexible
showed
medium
the
to tell
characters
stories,
in
and
the
horror
map they're
stories
going to be
are
in?
some of the stories that will provoke the most intense
Because that
emotions
setting
and
looked really
reactions in players.
cool.
So for us, it made sense. Yes.
Yeah, I'm also slightly in the forever dungeon
It's okay,
master
my
box
love.
that you
You're
are.
okay.
I try to inject a little
okay.
bit of horror into all the campaigns that I run.
You're okay.
I think that it's just a great tool to use to tell
That whole thing
stories.
was
If your
beautiful,
players never
right?
get scared, right? You're probably doing something a little bit wrong.
True.
Will
and like
did
you
play
mentioned,
an
Dungeons
elf
and Dragons is
character
just
and
a really flexible system for telling stories. At the end of the day, the players and the dungeon masters, you're not fighting each other. You're just there telling a collaborative story about what happens. And horror is just a great tool to
It's
include
all right,
in
my
that
love.
box
It's
of
all right.
storytelling.
I'm so sorry.
It's D&D.
My
hasn't
dogs are
always
terrified
been,
of
hey, we are a
storms,
horror
and it
game,
started
but
thundering like
the
as
tools
soon
are
as
there if you
the
want to do it, and I think some of the best storytellers
D&D
out there
reveal
definitely
happens,
implement those
and
tools.
Milo's freaking
Yeah,
out.
there are many examples out there. Now, why Vecna? I mean, we've seen it in the trailer. He is an absolutely terrifying presence. I think that whether you're a survivor or a killer and you play with Vecna in that game, it's going to be a really, really intense experience. So tell me a little bit, why Vecna and why it makes sense?
Maybe you want me to give him a call?
For me, the main reason
no.
that Vecna was very clearly like on the top of the podium the entire time we were discussing potential killers is that Vecna has always had this horror movie monster vibe to him. I mean, as a lich, he's always had the ability to, you can even kill him and he just pops back up and will come back. It might not be tomorrow.
Yeah.
Might be a couple years in the future, but like Vecna's always going to come back. He just has this real inevitability to him, right? You know, it's, and the thing about D&D is very quickly in a D&D setting, your party becomes a group of powerful adventurers, right? You're defeating all these other monsters that, you know, like dragons and stuff, and then Vecna shows up and you're like, oh, we need to run away. Vecna's here. Like he's such a scary, inevitable threat in the universe that even his earliest appearances were just items with his name on them, and everybody was wondering, oh, who's this guy Vecna that's got this eye and this hand, and it was just like whispers of this ancient evil that was so powerful you couldn't even print a stat block for him because he was just that strong.
Yeah, it's the terrifying presence that few talk about, but if you've heard about him, it's probably already too late. It's true that it's got that absolute flavor, and he has been part of the Dungeons and Dragons universe for almost 50 years now, right? He was there at the very, very beginning, like you said, as whispers, as just a note in there. But he does have a stat block, and reading it is all. It's not ridiculous, but it's so much power in those pages. Like, you understand that he is, like you said, inevitable, but also he is able to scare a party of level 15 adventurers who are technically almost unstoppable by that point, right?
Right, yeah.
There's no other candidate for killer for D&D
it's always
chapter.
like,
it had to be
I've lost
Vecna.
quite a few player characters myself to Vecna, and you know, Eve of Ruin, we've got the new book coming out, and as soon as you see Vecna, Eve of Ruin, I was like, oh, looks like I'm gonna lose a couple more.
Yeah, but that's part of the fun. That's writing stories with your friends. So before we let Yannick and Dave take us through the details of how we implemented Vecna with the gameplay mechanics of Dead by Daylight, how we presented him to our players, I'm wondering if you have a message for the hardcore D&D fans out there who may not be familiar with Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, I do actually, and it's try this chapter out, even if you don't play it. Like, watch somebody stream it, because this chapter, it's a love letter to Dungeons and Dragons from a very passionate and very talented team of developers at Behavior. It was super obvious throughout the entire process that, you know, from the sound design work to the animations and the modeling, and like even it's I can't stress enough how easy it made the approvals process on our end. That all of this work came in very obviously driven by an incredibly high level of passion for Dungeons and Dragons. If you are a D&D fan, there's really cool Easter eggs in the map. There's really cool Easter eggs all over the place. There's just a ton of love for D&D in this thing. And if you're a fan, there's something in here for you, I promise. Even if you don't think that horror is your thing, give it a try. It's super fun.
Thank you so much for the kind words. Seriously, it means the world to me. Now, I think we'll wrap this up for now. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today in our anniversary. And I hopefully will see you in the fog.
I don't usually play, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt them. I don't usually play PTBs, but if you guys are super interested, we can check it out for a bit. Sorry, Milo is freaking out. The poor baby. We're under tornado watch for another like hour and a half. We're just having some crazy weather today.
Hey,
yeah,
hi.
we can.
I'm not Dave. You're not Janik.
I'm not Janik.
No, we're quickly interrupting our D&D segment. There's a lot
for sure,
more.
Rugen.
Stay tuned. Dave will be right where I am in just a second to give you an update on cross progression.
I think we'll get everything that chapter.
This is a live show. We're having a live TV moment as we speak. So apologies, you might have noticed, even though I was dressed the same. Our segment with Derek that was just before was pre-recorded. And in fact, we played the wrong one. So we want to give you more details.
That's why they didn't talk about cross progression.
So that's what we're going to do. So take it away, Dork.
Yeah, so cross progression is hands down one of the most requested features. Every single stream, every single post. You guys are wanting cross progression, and we're
I'll be
giving
right
it to
back
you
in a second. I'm
later
going to
this
get
summer.
Milo a calm
Players will need to own the base game on any platform that they're playing on and have a behavior account. I'm sure you heard me talking about cross progression with an account. And you're like, what is she talking about? Yeah, so make sure you have that, and you'll be able to use cross progression later this summer. We do understand that the website is currently down because so many people are trying to get to the website and make their account, but we're working on it, and we'll have this to you shortly.
Yep, and just as a clarification, in case we have a few folks in chat that aren't aware, Dead by Daylight. This is cross progression for console and PC Dead by Daylight. We're not talking about Dead by Daylight mobile. It's really its own experience if you've never played it. It's a different beast from the Dead by Daylight core, as we call it internally.
All right, I gave him a
So
calming
along with the
chew to
Twitch
help
drops
him
and
relax.
a chance to get
'cause
What the
he's
Fog
freaking
for
out.
free, players now have another reason for their behavior account and another reason to crash our website. So like we said, bear with us. The site will be brought back up and all this will happen. Regarding cross progression though, any exceptions about in how the system's going to work?
Well, while every platform will have cross progression, there will be a few exceptions to what can be shared between those platforms. But stay tuned, we'll have a full FAQ coming very soon so that you can go ahead and learn more about cross progression for Dead by Daylight.
Okay, my love.
Yep. So, and as mentioned, now we're going to pass it to Dave and Janik for some great deep details on our Dungeons and Dragons chapter.
Details? Details, y'all? You're okay, my love. You're okay. Hi, Toasty. How are you? How's it looking? Good. It looks like we're gonna have some elf survivors added to the DVD.
All right.
They did,
Thank you,
Rexy,
Dork
they
and
did.
Eric, for this cross-progression information, just to prove that we are live. So we're super excited today to be able to talk about the Dungeon & Dragon chapter. I am Dave, creative director on Dead by Daylight, and I'm joined by my good friend, Yannick.
Hello, Yannick Never, principal game designer on Dead by Daylight. Today I'll be talking about all the intricacy of the gameplay on this chapter, but first a little mention. Dead by Daylight, 8 years, introducing Dungeon & Dragon. It's a big milestone for us, but we're not the only one hitting a special milestone.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that Dungeon & Dragon turns 50 this year, and we are super
50.
proud and happy to be part of the celebration.
Wow.
We just want to say that maybe when we turn 50, we do something else with you, Wizard of the Coast. Or maybe sooner.
Yeah, we'll probably be in retired home, but we'll be glad to join the party. So first, Dungeon & Dragon in Dead by Daylight. I have to be honest here. The first time you told me about what's going to be coming next, I was surprised because I'm a big horror fan, but when you think about horror, Dungeon & Dragon is not the first thing that comes to mind. But thinking about it more, I realized, no, wait, there's a lot of horror in Dungeon & Dragon.
Sure.
And Ravenloft being my favorite module.
Choice.
So like you really specifically focus on certain element of the brand. So please tell us about those pillars.
Yeah, so when we start a chapter, we always have a sandbox created so that we stay, around some specific pillars, like you said. Of course, when we think Dungeons & Dragons, the first thing that comes to mind is a magical world, high fantasy, magical creatures, wizards, magic, all sort of things that don't necessarily fit exactly well into a horror setting. But because D&D is a world of imagination where we can create whatever we want, there's also a way to make it happen. So for us, the first pillar was to make sure that we had a good juxtaposition with fantasy, so fully embracing that type of content, but make it horrific as well. And like you've seen in the trailer, having a character like Vecna made perfectly sense for that horror setting. The second pillar is creative role-playing. So in the image of Dungeon & Dragon,
Did you catch your clip
we
at the
wanted to
beginning of
make
the
sure
stream?
that
I
players had
did.
a lot of agency, a lot of choices.
Someone actually
So that
tagged
goes
me in
from,
it when they posted it on
an
YouTube.
amount of spells you can choose from in the power, which we'll talk about later, or even customization.
Super,
so a
super
way you
cool.
can, kind of create your own character in some way. We just wanted to make sure that we had a lot of gameplay choices in the DBD trials. And the last pillar
was
we
like,
worked with is chaos. So that's actually
was
one of our
me.
main pillar in Dead by Daylight. But a lot of what happens in Dungeon & Dragon is based on randomness. You throw a dice, and with
Also
you know,
highly
critical success, critical fails, and everything in between, you see the result and you adapt to it. So we wanted to
Milo's
recreate that
having
feeling
having
inside
a
the Dead by
moment.
Daylight
He
trials
doesn't
as
like
well.
storms, and it's
Dungeons and
currently
Dragons is really about
thundering, so
exploring a fantasy world,
he's
but
doing a
also
lot of
be
shaking.
thrill about what's going to be the monster you're going to meet the next time
So
you
he's
open a
getting some
door.
big cuddles.
So let's talk about that killer you'll meet the next time you open the door. So of course, Dungeons and Dragons has a lot of iconic monsters we could have chosen from, a lot of iconic villains as well. And with our friends at Wizard of the Coast, we've established that our next killer would be Vecna. Vecna is just a perfect fit for Dead by Daylight. He's a lich, so a powerful wizard that turned himself into undead to be able to continue his villainy. Is that even a word? I'm not sure. So he wanted to continue
Lots of
to
new
do
things
his
coming to
horrible
DVD.
stuff,
I'm
for
stoked
as long
for
as he
the
could.
new
Vecna also
game
has
mode.
access to every spell in the books. So that was very interesting for us to create an interesting power. Of course, we also have a survivor in the chapter. So the Bard, a very
The
interesting class.
Bard!
There's many class that we could have chosen from, but the Bard was really the one that fit the most into our horror setting. You know, for example, when we think about a class like the Paladin, you think of the ability to turn the undead, magical sword, big plated armors, and all of this doesn't fit really well into the world of Dead by Daylight. The Bard, with abilities like bardic inspiration, the ability to sing, to play musical instrument, to know lore, and even to insult the villain, is just so on brand that it was a perfect fit. So that's why we chose the Bard. As you've seen in the image and the trailer, we're doing something special with the Survivor. It's akin to what we've done with Legion. So through the cosmetic customization, you'll be able to choose between two specific characters inside the same Survivor. So you'll have the choice between Ice Tree, a female elf, or Beramar, a human male.
Oh!
Yeah.
It's interesting,
Cool.
but
I didn't
when
catch
was
that.
younger playing Dungeons and
I
Dragons,
caught that
like in
one
my
was an
friends
elf. I
group,
assumed they were
the
both
Bard was not really a
elves.
class that people tend to play.
True.
Compared especially to other class that
It's
you
our
had. But
time,
throughout times, like there's been many change and iteration on the class, and has now become like such popular class to play. Really fun now, definitely, and has become kind of an emblem to Dungeons and Dragons as much as a Red Dragon now.
Absolutely. Every party nowadays has a bard. And we've also seen a lot of bard love into other content that Dungeons and Dragons produce, like the movie, for example.
Yeah. So we have an undead wizard. We have a troubadour. Do we have a new map?
Absolutely. We're super proud to have a full chapter for the anniversary. And shocking no one, the map is a dungeon. Absolutely. So in the
That's gonna be
Borgo
so
realm, we have a
fun.
new map with a new building. So there is a top part set in the marvelous new lighting of the Borgo realm. And you can find this isolated tower in the middle. You can go inside and go into an extensive dungeon underground packed with surprises and Easter egg related to Dungeons and Dragons. The goal with this map is that we've imagined that Vecna, knowing about different realms and plane, now trapped into the realm of the entity, would find a place to make his own, his lair, and so that he can study where he is, the world, the entity.
That looks
and potentially find a way
amazing.
to escape, maybe not. We are also introducing a new gameplay mechanic in this map called Passage. So these are basically doors, magical doors, which you can use to teleport from one area to the map to the
passages.
next. And we think it's going to add a new interesting spice to chases.
The map.
The dungeon's
Easter
gonna have
egg,
passages?
it's super fun. Like if you're a fan of Dungeons and Dragons, just exploring, you're gonna be thrilled to see all the small and the big one. On the gameplay side now for Vecna, so the way we tackle or approach the killer this time, interestingly, it comes from a game, so he has game mechanic that are pre-existent. So we look at all like his stats block and try to come up with like the best spell that could be translated into game mechanic for us, and also make sure that these will be like thrilling and exciting to use. But then,
You think they will have
so
codes for
definitely
blood
he's
points when in
spellcaster, a
June?
very powerful one. So
When
the
in
goal was
June?
to make him feel as such in our game.
They always have blood
but
point
like I was saying,
codes. Great
magic,
Survivor.
it's something that we have never really tackled. Not not that way before. Something we've tried to stay away from. Like our powers are really visceral or like grounded as much as possible. It's something that do you
One
want to talk
second, Kat.
about a bit? Magic?
Yeah, yes, please. I hope some of our team colleagues are laughing right now. I kind of have a bad rep internally about magic. It's almost a taboo word that we can't use. But now making a D&D chapter, for sure we had to embrace magic. And of course there is a space for magic in horror games, but it has to be taken with the right tone. So in this case, we're talking necromancy, blood magic, magic of the dead. And there's a touch of realism and visceralness that we wanted to add to magic versus something more flashy like a magic projectile or a fireball, for example. There's also something quite interesting out of Dungeons and Dragons, and these are the utility spells. They're spells that are not used to kill or damage, but they're used in very creative ways. And we wanted to highlight that with the Lich, with Vecna. So that was our approach. Now, do you want to talk to us about the spell that we actually chosen?
Sure. So you have access to 4 different type of spell. Pretty much any time they have their own individual cooldown. But so the first one is called Fly, a very popular, well-known Dungeons and Dragons spell in our game. It lifts up the killer, and you're pushed forward, obviously faster. So it's really like the traversal aspect of the power. It lasts for a short amount of time, and it's going to also end if you vault a pallet or a vault location. And this is really useful to get closer to Survivor and get to the next gen as soon as possible. The next one is called Flight of the Dam, which is, it's not really a Dungeons & Dragons spell. It's more connected to Vecna. It's actually an ability that he has. What it does is that it casts 5 different individual projectile, and then it shoots them in a cone radius effect in front of him. These projectiles pass through obstacles. They don't go very far, but if they hit the survivor, they get damage instantly. It might sound very powerful and easy to use, but it's not the case. Survivor have a lot of counter, but the spell can also be used to zone in this aspect, so you can also go for the basic M1 attack during that time. The third spell is called Dispelling Sphere, which is actually, it's a combination of different existing Dungeons & Dragons spell. We just felt it was more compelling to combine them into one spell. So what it does, you cast a large sphere in front of you, and that sphere moves slowly throughout the level. Survivors do not see that sphere, and if they get in contact with that sphere, they get revealed for a few seconds by Killer Instinct, and also have their magic items disabled for a minute. And the last but not least spell is Mage Hand, very well known Dungeons and Dragons spell. What it does in Dead by Daylight, you, as the killer, you can tag up a nearby pallet. And if the pallet is upward, it blocks the pallet for a few seconds. Can be interacted by Survivor. And if it's downward, it's lifted up for you, so you can fully pass without any obstacles.
Get people out of leaps.
So the
That's
idea
what it
with
seemed
this
like,
killer, he has a lot of tools and
it goes
tricks
to obstacles
in his bag. And it's really about managing all the force spells, the cooldown, and try to activate them at the right moment. So that's really how you're going to improve as a killer, is learning how to use them at the right time and be efficient with them.
So lots of strategic and tactical.
This seems like a cool new killer.
So you've mentioned very quickly during the Dispel Sphere, the magical item.
Did I? Yeah.
What's that?
Okay. So this is the new toy for Survivor. It's called magic items, but keep in mind it's not an actual items that they use. So this time, if you face Vecna, you're gonna have Survivor gonna have 7 different chests that's gonna spawn throughout the level. Survivor go interact with those chests, and while during the opening of the chest, there's gonna be a D20 dice roll. Yes, it's Dungeons and Dragon. We couldn't do without the dice roll. So this dice roll will determine the content of the chest. So if Survivor roll from from 2 to 4, they get a basic Dead by Daylight brown item. So
Better than nothing.
yeah, well, maybe that brown med kit might save your life. I don't know. But the fun part is when you roll from 5 to 19, that's when you get the magic items. And the way it works is that each survivor has an equipment slot, 2 equipment slot. They have the bracers and the boots. So there's 2 type of magic items, and each magic item is going to be randomly linked the first time you open the chest to one of the 4 Vecna spells. And so once they are equipped, each time the killer will cast the spell that is linked to one of your magic item, you're going to gain a passive bonus to help out, kind of
So cool.
avoid the spell or help you out against Vecna in general.
Okay, I'll be back
So,
in a bit. I have
for
to. Okay,
to be more
Tracy,
precise,
see you
so if you
soon.
have bracers against the
Thank you for
fly
hanging.
spell, you're going to see Vecna's aura during the traveling that while you use the spell. If you have a boots, for example, against the Flight of the Dam, you see the aura of the
How are
projectile,
you?
very useful because the projectile goes through collision, and the best way to use that spell is through walls. If you have
This
the
is
magic
so
items
awesome.
against
I
the displaying sphere,
agree.
survivors see the sphere, so they can juke and go around the sphere as much as they can. And if you have a counter against the mage hand, you see the aura of the hand on the palette, and also gain a little aced effect, so that help you out around the loop.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's
Cool.
really important to search those chests.
Yeah, correct. Because the way that we tackle this, the balance in this case is that we made sure that the magic items do not trunker the killer's power. It's made or balanced to face survivor who have them equipped. So if you don't get those, definitely the killer might feel a bit oppressive. So it's really up to survivor to get to those chests and equip them as soon as possible.
Great. And just to be clear, you can also equip a normal item with that. So you can have your flashlight, bracer, and boots.
Correct. It's a very
Okay.
different slot.
So everybody heard you talk about a lot of numbers here on the dice, but you've not mentioned the critical fail, 1, and critical success on the 20. For people that don't play D&D, these are like events, the best event that can happen in Dungeons & Dragons when you get that critical fail or that critical success. So what happens in Dead by Daylight when that happens?
Yes, so we have critical roll in the game. If you roll a 1, you get, a big nothing. Although I've heard sometimes people get a green key. I guess
that's
lucky
that's
you.
better, yeah.
Useless.
But I know what you get if you roll a 20. So anyone who's familiar with Vecna in the lore of Dungeons and Dragons,
Ian.
there are 2 very specific artifacts that exist that is called the Eye of Vecna and the Hand of Vecna, and we introduce them in our game. So you roll a 20, you get one of the 2. You never know. But these works more like a normal item, so you have to pick them up and use them once. It's called attune, so you merge with the items, and then you unlock a very powerful ability up to like perk level.
Okay.
Yes, it's very strong. I guess you want to know. what
please
it
do
is?
say.
Okay, sure. So
There's
if
so
you
much stuff
attune
added.
with the Eye of Vecna, they use with locker. So if you fast stick with the locker, they're going to be untuned, unheard by the killer.
Kid, thank you so much for the
15
brand new
seconds,
tier
and
1
on top of
sub.
that,
I really
you gain
appreciate
a
it.
haste boost effect.
Can I please get all the love in
And
the
if
chat for
you
Kid
attune
RL?
with the Hand of Vecna,
How you doing today?
you fast enter a locker and you're going to be teleported further down, further locker.
Wow.
So very powerful.
Wow.
I forgot the little details because they might sound super strong,
Good morning,
said like that,
kid.
but they come with a cost.
There's
So to
so
use
much
them,
stuff
you have
coming
to
to
be full
DVD. It's
health.
insane.
And once you use them, you instantly lose a health state. And also, at the end of the effect, you get revealed by Counter Instinct. So be very mindful the way you use them, because we've seen a lot of situations where it backfire at the survivor, and the killer has definitely a spell to help him out, get back at the survivor.
Got your totem
and
badge?
get the
Heck
down.
yeah.
It's very on brand with what a cursed item should
How come
be.
I'm not getting drops from
Thank
my
you so
own
much,
stream?
Zenik. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff coming with Vecna.
Oh,
and
I did.
we
Never
had
mind.
no time today to
1
talk
minute
about
ago,
anything
you're now
more
eligible
about,
for
the
totem
killer
badge.
perks or the survivor. But I have to say very quickly that the survivor perk will allow you to create illusions, to perform on the loot. You can even perform
got
with
yours?
other survivors to do the full melody. There's also a dice roll mechanic for one of the perk. So if you want more information after the show, you can go on our website, deadbydaylight.com, and get all of the details.
This is so
that you
exciting.
need.
There's a. I'm getting
Merci
like a
encore,
little
Jannick,
bit of
for all the
information overload.
And
Anyone else
thank
feel
you so
like
much to
that?
all of you.
There's
Happy
so much
anniversary,
stuff.
And I'll be passing it back to Eric and Dork.
A little bit. There seems like they added so much stuff with the new chapter. Like even just like little things in the game. The chest with the dice roll, with the different items, with the different magic abilities, with the different everything. Where my drops? Watch longer, Shotbow. They said that they were going to have it written down, Toasty.
Oh my God, Dungeons and Dragons and Dead by Daylight.
You are a pretty frequent DM
Running on
yourself, right?
Yes,
No
I do
sleep right
DM
now.
on occasion. Forever player, as they said in the interview. Well, no, forever DM.
Yeah.
Never a player. Please make me a player.
You must be
Oh.
so psyched.
So psyched. I'm so psyched. I'm so excited. I just cannot wait to see what we have in store and to go against Vecna.
Hopefully people have noticed your dice
Yeah, you got
necklace.
my nice D4. I got okay. But yes, just like Dave said, don't forget to head over to deadbydaylight.com right after the show for the full breakdown on Vecna and all of his powers. You'll also
Toasty,
be
you
able to see
listening?
the perks that we've got for him and our bard coming into the fog.
You love her
And
necklace.
also,
I love
don't
her
forget to ask
shirt.
questions in the chat.
I like her
when you're
necklace
not
too, but I really
spamming
like her
nonsense
shirt.
Garbage. Ask real questions, and we'll answer them later in the Q&A. You don't need to say claim. Please stop saying claim. You're not claiming anything by saying claim. Stop.
But we appreciate your enthusiasm. But next we're going to be, I'm going to be joined by Dave Richard back on the couch for him to walk us through the ever-expanding world of Dead by Daylight.
How long has it been on? An hour and 5 minutes already. Sheesh, it's already been an hour and 5 minutes? I woke up at like 7:30 to get ready for this today, and I didn't sleep very well. Back to lurk for a bit. Okay. Thanks for the lurk, Banana. Hope you have a wonderful day. I don't have a tardy slip. We need your hall pass.
Hey, I'm over here now.
How are you?
So, I'm super excited for this part of the stream because not only do we get to talk about 2 upcoming projects within the world of Dead by Daylight, that being Supermassive's The Casting of Frank Stone, and an unnamed multiplayer PvE game by Midwinter, but we get to do it all with Dave Richard. So, Dave, can you please tell me why we chose these games to be the right games for us to expand the world of Dead by
Oh,
Daylight?
kid, you missed What the Fog!
There's a lot of stuff going into that choice for sure. So first of all, we are super happy and grateful to have a community already there playing Dead by Daylight. So of course we listen to what they want to see, what they want to play. So that comes into the recipe of the choice we're going to make. We also want to make sure that we will create something new to experience, something that's completely out of what we are used to in Dead by Daylight. So that comes into the genre we want to create. Also, we want to interest new players into the world of Dead by Daylight. Some people that never heard of Dead by Daylight, but also some viewers that are interested about the world of DBD, but that don't play DBD because
Thanks,
maybe
Kat.
it's not their style of game. So we want also these players to be with us and experience the world of Dead by
No
Daylight.
problem, kid.
And just like you were saying, with people being interested in the world of Dead by Daylight, as the creative director, why do you think there's so much interest in the lore of a multiplayer game that's based in action?
Well, it's been very important for us since day one when we started working on this project. The story and the narrative around everything we create. We want to make sure that every little component in DBD has a story and a reason to live in the universe. We take great care into making that happen. So, there's a lot of mysteries within
Haley,
mysteries,
how are
a lot of
you?
layers to our narrative, which I think are super interesting and players want to know more. So these games will allow us to discover these elements that we've seeded in the past. Like every killer and every survivor in Dead by Daylight could have their own movie or their own game, really.
Yeah, they've got so much lore. It's really amazing to just dive into. And speaking of lore, I mean, this is something we want to expand on with the world of Dead by Daylight. So we're doing that in one of our upcoming games, The Casting of Frank Stone. So can you tell us a bit more about that?
Right, I can tell you a little bit.
Just a bit.
Yes. So, of course, there's different type of stories in games, right? There's games that have a static narrative that you experience. That's great. There's also games that the narrative is made very organically by the players, like DBD is a good example of that. The Casting of Frank Stone is somewhere in between, right? It's a game where there is multiple narrative, and based on the player choice, and different things will happen, and based on their choice, different endings and different branching in the story will happen. So the Casting of Frank Stone is very interesting for us because it brings the origin of a killer and potentially survivors, and the players are able to play that for the first time. Some things that we are used to see.
Yeah, we broke
as
their
a lore or
website. There's so
bio
many people
or
trying to get all the
toiletry in
stuff.
DBD now will be playable. It's still in the Entities universe. It's still very much part of the world of DBD, but it's going to be out of the trials. So that's going to be an interesting take on our universe.
Okay, so we know that the Casting Frank Stone is still in that realm, but what about our other project, this unnamed multiplayer PvE game? Is that also going to be taking place in the Entities realm?
Absolutely. So it is in the world of DBD. It is in the Entity. And one cool thing about the Entity is that we know very little about exactly what it is.
Yes,
but we
I
do
think
know
so,
that it's a
Kotex.
living universe. It is huge, and we can't really comprehend everything that's happening within it. So we know that DBD trials are a way for the Entity to feed.
Oh.
It's a very kind of organic process. So
The game's only $4.99 on
we can
Steam.
imagine that there are other parts in the Entity
The
that
article says
serves
if they run out of free
other
code.
purposes. And that is exactly what we want to explore. So that allows us to create new narrative, new ways to experience a game, new gameplay opportunity, new set of rules. So these are things that we talked about in the past, and that we always wanted to explore. So that's exactly what we want to do with this new Untitled game. So in a way, the world of DBD that we've created is like a book with infinite pages. We can add new stories to it forever, hopefully.
Just keep on reading.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you did talk about that, and is there any gameplay that we'll be able to see?
That we'll be able to see. Well, yeah, I think so.
All right. Well, thank you, Dave, for talking us through that. But now I want to see the gameplay. Let's see the gameplay.
Go.
Hey everyone, I'm Audrey, lead producer at Midwinter Entertainment. Last year, we gave you a very small glimpse of a project we started working on set in the Dead by Daylight universe. I'm happy to say that we have more to share with you on this game codenamed Project T. Instead of showing you a close to final game with some polished gameplay, we wanted to let you in on the development process. Right now, Project T is a work in progress, more than a fully fledged game. Our goal is to craft an experience with all of you and create something that you would be eager to play. Let's hear more about Project T with our creative director.
Hey everyone. First, I want to say what an honor it is to be working in the Dead by Daylight universe. We love DBD's multiplayer thrills, and its dark, mature setting brings just the right kind of tension and danger for a game like this. In Project T, you play as trespassers, rough and tumble characters who have been whisked away from their realities and trapped within the Entity's realm. There, in a vast region called the Backwater, they discover they must work together if they're to have any chance of survival. And of course, they're not alone. The Backwater is home to horrific monstrosities known as the Thrall. These terrors come in many forms and have different deadly abilities.
This
Their
seems like the
origins and
PvE
nature
one.
are unclear, but they certainly don't take kindly to trespassers within their domain. To achieve your objectives, you'll have to battle the Thrall with every weapon at your disposal.
The world of Project T is called the Backwater. It's a unique place, another twisted realm within the Entity's grasp. You'll be eager to explore this familiar yet ominous world, and it'll definitely give you the creeps. To add even more tension to your experience, we're building the backwater as an ever-changing landscape, which offers a lot of possibilities gameplay-wise. To navigate the backwater, we're thinking of adding trucks in the game. Since it's a pretty big area, you would need a way to go from one point to another while escaping the hordes of Thrall. But there could be other uses for the truck. That's something we're thinking about. And we'd love to see what kind of ideas you might have. As DBD fans, we're having a lot of fun creating this new experience as part of the Dead by Daylight universe. DBD is all about
Totally
horror,
different.
and we want to make sure we're crafting something that horror fans will appreciate, from the different biomes of the backwater to the look of the Thrall.
Project T is still in early development, but that doesn't mean you'll have to wait another year to get more news. We're looking to get your opinions and share information, so we're creating a platform called the Insider Program. This is a place where all the players excited about this new take on the DBD universe can gather and
Left
be
4
active
Dead.
participants in the development of the project.
Yes, how?
As
It's
an
a
insider,
totally different
you'll not
game,
only get
yeah.
exclusive information, but also in-game rewards and even the chance to join our closed play tests and give us your feedback. Join us to help shape an experience you'd like to play and make Project T the best that it can be. See you soon.
So it seems like Project T is very much like work in progress still. If it's like Left 4 Dead, I would freak out. They have like the hordes. I forget what they called them.
Cedar Hills is not exactly a noted hotbed of criminal activity.
Oh, this is the other one. This is the other game.
That's not entirely true.
I think this is the
There
casting
was
of Frank
that whole
Stone.
serial killer thing.
Why do you hate Cedar Hills so much? You used to be like town mascot.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present The Mill.
Spend enough time in my line of work.
Excuse me?
Realize
Wait.
every place has got its demons.
Wait, excuse me, what did they just introduce?
You can't shoot a movie in here. This is a condemned steel mill, Mr. Rivera. I suggest you immediately vacate the premises. And you do not, under any circumstances, set 1 foot back here in the Cedar Steel Mill. Ever.
Such a joy to see young people so passionate about the arts.
Everything's all right.
This looks so cool.
Either of you heard of Murder Mill?
No!
There was a whole string of disappearances. Kidnappings, really. Murders. So what was this guy's name?
I don't think the police ever found this place.
Is this like that one quarry game? I believe so, yeah.
Whoever did this might still be here. We can't stay, okay? We gotta go.
I think it'll play like until dawn.
And cut.
Yo!
When you make dangerous
That
things,
looks really cool.
dangerous
I like that. I like that.
Oh my god, that was such a cool trailer.
Right? Some chills there.
Did I see
Frank
a hunting
Stone.
mask?
Bringing,
God.
bringing it. Murder Mill? That
Murder
seems
Mill?
familiar. Fans might know that one. Super cool. It's so cool to see the way that the
Did
DVD
Supermissive also make Until Dawn, or am I
I
misthinking?
want to mention Project T. You saw a mention of the Insider program, so that's our team is there waiting for you on Discord. So you can join the Insider program to get up-to-date information on Project T and get involved in it and be part of the game's development. It's really
The casting of
idea
Frank
there is we're
Stone
making the
says
game
that it's
with
coming
the community.
2024.
So
Brit.
getting on the ground floor now.
Yes. With Project T, like Eric
Made by the
said,
same
we are
developers,
taking
I
this
think.
idea to a whole new
Supermassive
level
made
with
Until
making
Dawn.
the game with
Okay, so
you
it's gonna play
instead of
like
just
those,
making
and
it
those
by
are some
ourselves.
phenomenal games.
So,
So
if you
I'm
love Dead
so
by Daylight
excited.
and you want to help with this new session-based multiplayer PvE game and bring it to life, sign up for the Insider program so that you can be in the know and get next steps. You also want to make sure you wish list it on
The
Steam.
mill is
'cause that really
popular in
helps us.
horror games,
Yes.
right?
And so Project T is quite a ways off because, like I said, we actually want to make it with our players. but the casting of Frank Stone is right on the horizon. So Supermassive, as hopefully folks know in the chat, they're just an amazing developer of single-player narrative horror games. And now
Until
we're bringing
Dawn was
Dead
one
by
of my
Daylight,
favorite games
into
ever,
that
guys.
genre.
I'm
It's just
so
Cool to
excited.
finally be there, and it looks super terrifying. It looks super crisp and polished and awesome. I can't wait. So as you mentioned, wish lists do help a lot. So if you would do us a kindness, kindly
Here we
give us
go.
a wish list, we would
Let's
greatly
go.
appreciate
Where's
it.
the wish
Yes,
list?
and speaking of Dead by Daylight, the PTB, I know a lot
coming.
of you are itching to get into that. That will be at 1 p.m. as a reminder today instead of 12 p.m. So be ready to download that so you can go ahead and hop in and test out the new chapter.
I can't wait to see people's reactions to all the things that are.
Oh,
in this
yeah.
chapter.
I cannot
Casting
wait,
of
especially
Frank
for the locker
Stone,
one.
add
I'm so
to your
excited
wish
for that
list.
one.
Let's
But,
go.
as we said, this is, we're getting pretty close to our live segment where it's going to be the live Q&A. So we'll have Justin, different Justin from Eric's Justin, come out to talk about
I think
this
it got
year's
pushed back
Twisted
because they're
Masquerade
waiting until the
in-game
anniversary
event.
stream is done, kid. That'd be my guess, because they don't want people to leave the stream to go play the PTB.
Back again. This time
they
I'm joined by
did.
Justin Banks, our senior product
little
manager.
bit.
Justin, how are you?
It was confusing to me.
Happy to be back.
Yes, welcome back to the anniversary show. And what would an anniversary be without the Twisted Masquerade, right? So the Twisted Masquerade is back. It happens every year
What the
during
Fog
our
Project
anniversary
Frank
in-game,
Stone?
and Justin's here to talk about it.
You
so what
should
have
be able
cooked
to
up
get
this
What
year?
the Fog
So
through
this year we got some
your
amazing
behavior
stuff.
account
Honestly, I
for
think
free,
it's our
though, I
best
think.
anniversary event yet. But
They
before
seem
we
like
get
they're
to
gonna
it,
have a
we
lot of
what we
keys.
call Before the Masquerade.
As long as
So
you don't,
that
like,
is going
wait
to
a
be
long
something that actually
time.
starts right after this stream. So for everyone who's watching, once this is over, go play.
Said 2
And we've got
million.
lots of really
Okay,
cool
so-
stuff as a big thank you to all of the players. It's really
We'll
stuff
see.
from all of DBD's history, and it includes a lot of presents.
But not
I love
everyone that
presents. I know you
plays
love
DBD is like
presents.
watching the
Our
stream
community
knowing
probably loves
those
presents
things,
too.
you know?
I think
Details?
So the details about said presents. We've got lots of login rewards, so lots of currencies for players to earn just by logging in whichever day throughout all of this. We've also got 2 recolored outfits, one for Meg and one for the Huntress, that players can earn through each week.
You just got yours,
So each week you'll be able to
KQ?
earn a different piece of this, so if you log in just once each of these initial 3 weeks, you'll get the full outfits, which I think is a really cool way to get your hands on some cool outfits. Now, each of these initial 3 weeks is going to focus on a different period of DBD's history, so a different collection of years. What that means is that we're going to have map boosts and outfit sales of character outfits that were released during those years. So we really want to take you through this history with us. We want to celebrate the history of DBD.
That's really cool.
Then the cool stuff that I think everyone's really going to dig is we have some currency boosts. A
The
different
site
one
finally
for
loaded
each
for me and it
week
said they were
during
out of
Before the
codes.
Masquerade.
Oh,
So
really?
for the first week, we have a blood feast. So 3 times the blood points. During week 2, we are going to have 3 times the rift fragments. So if you want to progress towards the rift, this is a very good chance to do it. Then during week 3, we've got 3 times the XP. So again, if you want to progress to the rift, this is also good, but this is a really good chance to earn some iridescent shards.
Damn. And then after D&D releases, the last week and a half we'll be doing double XP and double blood points, right?
Oh, we're doubling down, yeah.
So everyone can play the new chapter. They can get hyped for the Masquerade. They can nab some of the older anniversary charms as well. Is that true?
Exactly. So we want to give people a chance who haven't earned them during previous years, to celebrate the build up to the event itself by earning, like some really cool Masquerade crows or things like that.
Awesome. Okay, so what about the event itself?
So the event itself, now that we've tackled Before the Masquerade, the big new thing that is coming for this year's Twisted Masquerade is the reveal of the host of the Masquerade, Trix herself. So players might have seen her hinted at during previous anniversary events or during in outfit descriptions referenced as the Mad Designer or Zizzletrix. So she's finally making her appearance. And throughout all of the event, we want to make it very clear, like, this is her party. She's everywhere. She's the entity's biggest fan, celebrating, holding this party in its honor. And she's not a playable character, so we want to make that very clear. She is there pushing everybody to engage and celebrate.
I love that. So does this mean we're going to see a lot more of her in the Twisted Masquerade?
Absolutely. So We have a lot of the UI that is themed. You might have seen some last year, so we've done a lot of updating for that. We've got Father Campbell's Chapel coming back with the whole party taking place inside. Some updated content in there to show that the party is progressing or dying slightly. You might find some corpses. Then, in addition to all that stuff really permeating the game, we've got the lobby, the loading screens. She's going to appear in trials. You will hear her laughing at you or cheering you on around the exit gates. There's really voice lines that's going to appear everywhere, really accentuating the gameplay. It's going to be amazing. Like we loved hearing all of the voice lines that we have had recorded for this. With all that stuff, like we've got a lot of really cool gameplay that I'm going to talk about in just a second. But one thing I wanted to mention is that all of our event gameplay now is going to take place within a separate event queue. So if you want some of the normal DBD, like in the core mode, you can have that. But if you want the event stuff, go over to the really cool event queue and take part of Trix's, Twisted Masquerade. And I have to say as well, if you go to the
Sorry,
core
I
mode,
was
it's
looking
still going
at
to have a lot of
some.
the decorations, so you get the vibe with the core experience.
Don't have to worry, because
And
I
that's a
have
really
a really
good
great friend who
quality
just
of life
gifted What the
improvement over
Fog
last
to me.
year,
Let's
right?
go!
Giving players that option to choose, if they want to just do classic Dead by Daylight, they can, with some extra flair on it, or they can choose the event queue. That's a nice improvement. So you mentioned it. So what are some of the gameplay changes that are coming with Trix?
So Trix is bringing what we call her bag of tricks to the party. She wants to spice things up. She wants everyone to have a lot of fun. So what we've got is that as a match progresses, one of a series of abilities, one of the tricks, is going to be played on our players. And these are going to be things like giving everybody haste, giving people undetectable, spawning anniversary special chests or totems, some really cool stuff that's going to spice it up. And this is going to happen whenever 2 points are accumulated during a match. So at first I'd say one tricks actually takes place at the match start. Following that, whenever 2 points are accumulated from doing a gen, first hook, things like that, which each gives 1 point, that is then going to trigger another tricks to maximum of 5 during a match. So we want to really keep things interesting. And when a tricks is actually activated, you're going to see Trix herself appear alongside or take the spot of one of the dancing marionettes. She's going to even deliver a line that hints at what has been played. So if you're not paying attention, she's going to give you this really cool audio cue.
That's awesome. And so in addition to all of that, I think we're also
Let me get
doing
Milo on
some
the
sort of
sofa.
update
Give me
for the
one
invitation
second.
mechanic.
Yeah, absolutely. So the invitations last year, we had players run around, gather those, and you could either spend it to use an ability while inside a chase, or escape with it to help you earn a mask. This year, there's no need to escape with it to earn a mask. That's a different thing. And we've even added outside of chase abilities to the invitation. So if you're someone who doesn't necessarily want to always be chased by a killer or wants to have a more diverse use for it, we've added that. So survivors can now go into quiet mode, so making a lot less noise, and can even do things like quickly enter a locker without alerting the killer. It's super useful to get out of that chase right away.
That's fantastic.
Or if they're nearby and you don't want to alert them. For killers, they can now use an invitation to immediately send a downed survivor to a nearby hook. And as I can say from playtests, it's really fun.
I think the community is going to love that. Can't wait for them to play, but also I think there's challenges we've added so you can earn masks, right?
Yeah, exactly. So this year, earning all of the masks is going to be related to engaging with event challenges and earning event currency. So all of them are going to be earned like this. That's going to be how you earn most of the rewards. And past masks and outfits that were earnable or in the store last year are also coming back. So if someone was not able to get those during previous years, those are all now going to be available inside the store for the duration of the event. And I have to say that we have also a licensed guest showing a mask this year, a Mr. Detective Tap.
Amazing. Amazing. That's so cool.
Look at those masks. Those are fantastic.
There they are. Heck yes. Fantastic. Good Lord. So it wouldn't be a party without lots of rewards. What can you tell us about the event tome?
So we've got a few staples that are coming back that we've done and seen huge success with in the past for the event tome. One is the community challenges. So we know people love to play together towards earning things, so we've got a lot of those. So if people engage with the event, work towards those targets, hit their own milestones, I think they're going to earn some really pretty cool stuff. Also in the event tome is some really interesting lore about the Observer discovering Trix's world. So if you want to know a little bit more about her, play those challenges, earn that lore. Then we've got some really cool stuff. I have to say the Twisted Masquerade is one of our favorite collections to work on every single year. As soon as the art team's concepts hit the table, or I guess the monitor screen these days, we're like enamored with them. Like we love working on this collection. So this year we've got 2 new 100% earnable outfits that you can earn through the event. We have one for Bill Overbeck, another licensed guest making his appearance in the Masquerade, and one for the Unknown, who is maybe trying to blend in a little bit at the party.
Successfully.
In addition to all of that really cool stuff, we've got some Trix-themed charms and player cards that people can earn. Now, obviously with Tap's mask making an appearance as a reward, there's someone who accompanies him. So if people check out the in-game store during the Twisted Masquerade, they'll be able to find a really cool event-themed outfit for the pig.
Yeah,
now,
there
we
it
are
is.
Huge fans of this. I mean, it's got so many touches from the Saw franchise in there. I think it's amazing.
Pig fans were on the edge of their seats hoping you'd say that.
I love that.
Amazing. So we've covered a lot. Are there any last presents for the players that we haven't mentioned?
So there's a lot already, but we've got more. So the same
There's
as
a
previous years,
lot.
we're giving out lots of daily rewards to players. So there's going to be lots of currencies, like more blood points, more rift fragments, more iridescent shards.
Who in chat was looking for
We have
blood
a huge
points?
login calendar throughout the entire event. People are going to be earning stuff no matter what they do. And for the first time, that no matter when the player logs in, we're going to give them enough event currency to get a single reward from the event.
Nice.
So as soon as you log in, we want to get you started and start enjoying the party.
I love that.
nice.
Players are going to love that. Thank you, Justin, for your time and all that detail.
That's what they're
so much
talking about,
detail. I hope
Lacey.
people are psyched. Just as a note, the event in-game starts June 13th, but the Before the Masquerade event actually starts now, right after this show, today. And there is
Sweet.
one last thing that we have not mentioned. It's
Before the
all part of
Masquerade.
this wrapper of celebration, and it actually ties back to Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, does it?
Yes. So very, very excited to say that we will be putting some Dungeons and Dragons Dead by Daylight dice, that's a lot of Ds,
A lot.
up for sale in the merch store. You can pre-order it right now. It's not available. You can't
Get
get
your
it right away, but you can get your pre-order in right away. And in fact, if you do the pre-order in the next 48 hours, you get a discount. Super psyched about this. There's tons of Dungeons & Dragons fans within the office. I'm sure there are in the community as well. So why not put them together with a cool new set of dice?
That's nice.
And that is all we have. Unfortunately, Justin, you're done. Thank you for
Oh,
your time.
yeah,
Awesome.
there was
Always happy
so
to be here.
much information.
So we're going to toss it now to Dork for our live Q&A, and we'll bring it home. Take it away, Dork.
I'll be getting my PS5 when I come back from June. You'll be missing the May stuff then, Great Survivor.
All right, well, I've been like teleporting all around
But
today. Now
I
over here.
think there
So
should
we've
still be
covered
some
so
more
much
stuff
content
happening
today. We've been talking
Is the
about
Masquerade in June
gameplay
then,
updates
right?
to Dead by Daylight, the 2v8 mode, the new titles, the Dungeons and Dragons chapter, and obviously with all of this content comes loads of questions, which we will be taking the time to answer for you. I say we because it's me, Dave Rashad, and Justin Brown. So let's go ahead and get started. So for Dave, question 1. In the Dungeons & Dragons segment, you mentioned 2 bards and 1. What does that mean? Are we getting 2 unique survivors?
No. So there is 1 survivor, same perks, but there is a different customization system around this character. So it's similar to what we've done with the Legion. So
Okay.
instead of having like normal head, torso, legs parts, for
Apparently
the
I
bard
have a
we
what the fog
head and
code, but
torso
I
in one piece, the legs in another piece, and the
can't find it.
accessories. And so changing the head torso piece, you can modify which character you want to be.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so question 2, how big of an impact will the Project T Insider program actually have on the finished game? I'll actually go ahead and take this one. We really want this project to meet player expectations at launch, so we want to make an open dev route, and this will allow us to proactively check in with you, our community, and fine-tune the game as we go. We'll be actioning insider feedback the whole time we're building the game, as your input and your insight will be highly considered throughout the entire process. So thank you. Question 3 for Dave. Will we see any existing Dead by Daylight characters in the casting of Frank Stone?
Ooh, well, I don't want to spoil anything. I can say that the game features a new cast of characters. They're original. It's an all-new story, but there are a ton of little things here and there to discover linking to Dead by Daylight for the fans.
Okay, thank you. Now you got a little.
That seems like a
okay.
yes.
Our next question, question 4 for Justin. In 2v8, you said that there will be classes for survivors, but not exactly for killers. What does this mean, and will more killers be added in the future?
All right, I'll start with the easy one. Yes, of course, there will be new killers added. Each iteration we do after this first
So
one.
Vecna
we strive to
releases
add a
June
few
3rd, and the
more
Masquerade
killers,
event starts on the
as we move
13th.
forward. As far as
The
classes
13th
go,
of
it's something we're
June?
still really waiting for. There's a
I kinda missed
possibility
it.
we do
I'm
something
getting
like a
DM'd
class
by, like,
system, but
so
we're gonna
many
wait until
people
we
right
get this
now.
iteration into your hands, work with your feedback, and see where we take this mode.
All right, thank you, Justin. Question 5. What is the difference between a game mode and a modifier for Justin?
Okay, it's just like what Matt said. A modifier is really something that takes a little piece of a standard trial and sort of adjusts it, like a darkness effect, maybe changing how fast or how many generators there are to do, or random perks. A mode is something that's going to fundamentally change the way the game's played, something really big and all-encompassing, something like 2v8.
All right, thank you. Again, Justin, I got a question for you. Question 6. Can I duo killer with my friends in 2v8?
Absolutely. You can queue up with your friend. You can get on Discord and talk to them and play killer together.
Okay, so I'm super excited for that. That's going to be amazing. All right, our next question. Can we play 2 of the same killers in 2v8, Justin?
No. The easy answer is no, you won't be able to play 2 of the same. You'll be able to mix and match between the 5, but 2 of the same
good,
killer
though.
will not be available.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah, can you imagine hearing both chainsaws revving?
That would be
gosh.
so
Overload.
confusing.
All right, question 8. I didn't get my blood points from grade reset yesterday. Will I get them back? I'll go ahead and answer this one. Yes, we're working on refunding the missing blood points to players, and you should receive them within the next few days. Really sorry about that. Question 9. Can achievements and trophies be earned in the 2v8 mode when it releases, Justin?
The simple answer is yes. There are no specific 2v8 achievements or trophies, but if you're making progress towards one that already exists, like how many generators you have to repair, progress is still made towards those trophies.
All right, thank you. Question 10. Are there plans to keep 2v8 permanent after some iterations, Justin?
So this is something we're still working out. But I can tell you for sure in year 9, it will not be permanent at any point. It's going to be an ongoing discussion. It's going to depend sort of the engagement level, the feedback we get from you, and when we feel the mode is fully ready before we continue those conversations.
Mm-hmm.
So when the mode is active, make sure you are playing it. Okay, do this for us. So other than that,
People will.
What is,
People will
is
flock
What
to
the
that
Fog
game mode.
Couch co-op or online co-op only? I'll answer this one as well. What the Fog is online co-op only, available as soon as we find a fix for the website. Really sorry about that, but thank you so much for trying to claim the game right now. All right, question 12 for you, Dave. Is Matt Mercer voicing Vecna?
Good catch. He is. We're super excited to have Matt Mercer bring Vecna to life in the trailer, in game.
That's awesome, especially having one of the kings of Dungeons and Dragons coming and voicing Vecna. What a treat.
Absolutely.
But we don't have any other questions. Thank you all so much for submitting your questions, no matter where you are watching from. And thank you so much, Dave and Justin. Regarding cross progression, just going to fill this in really quickly. We also want to reiterate that we can't share specific plans just yet, as we are still finalizing the last details, but rest assured that as soon as we are clear to do so, we will, and we plan to also push out a public FAQ. So once the FAQ is posted, we'll announce it across all of our channels for your full awareness. Once again, a big thanks to everyone who submitted questions, and we hope these answers were helpful, and we'll be talking more about this stuff in the next coming months. As a last gift for our players, if you're already signed up for the Dead by Daylight newsletter, you'll receive 250k blood points. And if you are not, you can still register until May 15th to get that sweet, sweet reward. And
Great
another big
Survivor!
thanks once again to Justin and Dave for sticking around to answer all of these amazing questions.
You want free blood
since this
points?
is almost the end of our show, we don't want to forget that the PTB goes live in 22 minutes. So now we're going to have Eric and Matt here on the couch one more time to wrap up the show with one final surprise.
One final surprise, let's go! What did I miss? Oh my god, Sky. We need some spark notes for Sky. There's too much. There's too much.
All right. This is it. This is the end. We've made it to the end of the show. It's been a great show. It's been a long show.
I know,
But anyway, thank you for sticking with us. We had
Okay,
so
hold on.
much to
I'll
tell
shut
you
up.
about. So
shut
we
up.
had to do it all. But thank you so much. And look who's here to join me on the couch over there, Mr. Matt Kate. Matt, welcome.
Thank you so very much.
Well, nice of you to make it at the end.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I
eventually got here.
Yeah. Well, I was a little late. Had some surprises to work on. It's always something.
That's true. But I
Wait,
think
he
all the
was
surprises
on
are
earlier.
wrapped
I'm
up for now. Thank you again. Hopefully you'll join us on one of our upcoming streams. We're going to keep these rolling. Maybe you'll join us on one of our upcoming streams.
I'd be delighted.
Be fantastic. And that's it. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful... yes?
I just want to say before we leave, so the people who have been with us until the very, very end, we have one last surprise for you. We like to close the show with a surprise. It's a bit of a tradition nowadays. So this summer, we are going to be welcoming yet another legendary set of characters into the fog.
Dumb and Dumber?
I don't think we're supposed to say that. Featuring over... Featured in over 30 games, an animated series, an absolutely unforgettable soundtrack, and much, much more. We hope you are as excited as we are to welcome into the fog this classic franchise.
That's not Scooby-Doo. Castlevania! Oh, Cat's happy. Cat's making her big return to DBD if D&D didn't get her. I am Well No One. I'm gonna play the PTB for a bit. But, first, I have to pee so bad. Oh, okay, I can't find the DVD screen, so you're just gonna have to live with it. Okay. What on earth just happened? That whole stream? That whole stream was bonkers. Like, oh my god. I am so excited. The Until Dawn. Whoa, what's going on? Hold on, sorry. I think because I'm closing out of my game. That Until Dawn like game that I can't remember the name of. The casting of Frank Stone. That looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm excited for that. I have no idea what to expect from that other game. But if they make it like Left 4 Dead, like you guys said, that could be huge. You're excited for the PvE game? I wonder, like, the timeline on that. It seems like it's still in, like, very early stages. But Frank Stone seems... What game? Frank Stone? The casting of Frank Stone is a, like, Until Dawn type game in the DBD universe. Sucks I own a Switch and half the games aren't going to be available to Switch. I'm sorry. Brit plays on a what the heck are those things called? I'm so hyped for Castlevania. I'm so hyped. We're getting a female elf survivor in Dead by Daylight. Like, Steam Deck, yes. Brit plays a lot of games on a Steam Deck. I wonder if that would be good for you. Lil no one. The fact we get to sing with the bard. I think it's really cute that they chose the bard. Wait, what? I simply do not have enough time in my days to play these games. Gotta make time. But I just want to say thank you again, everyone, for watching with me. We gotta wait a little bit for PTB to go live, I think. But thank you everyone who woke up early and watched the stream with me. That was so fun. That was like information overload, but like so much fun. They made it seem like it's gonna be cross progression with everything except mobile. Lil no one. It was so much fun getting to watch it and experience it with all my favorite people. And like a lot of times when I do these watch parties, in the past, like they've been very, like honestly no one watches. So between the Killer Clowns watch party and this watch party, you all were here, you showed up, you supported, you were so sweet. And I had a lot of fun, so thank you. I appreciate y'all y'all watching with me. Did I hear female elf survivor? Yes, so there's going to be a bard coming with the new D&D chapter, and you can choose between 2 cosmetics, a female elf or a male human bard. People with Switch can play a lot. People are mean to people. I think they said, Old School, can you confirm? They said that the cross progression will be with everything except mobile, right? All consoles and PC. More information will be shared soon, but they just said it. They just said it in the live stream. I'm pretty sure they said everything except mobile, because mobile's like its own thing. That's what they said on, yeah, that's what I think they said too. Lil No One, thank you for the follow. As weird as it sounds, I have 3 different Steam accounts. I wonder if they will allow a combination of those. Probably not. I told y'all they'd do Vecna. I think Vecna was kind of the front runner based on like everyone's theories and stuff. And I think people were just so excited by the thought of Vecna because everyone's also obsessed with Stranger Things stuff in Dead by Daylight. Although this Vecna is different than the Stranger Things Vecna. But, he looks like he's gonna be really cool. And how cool are the chests? Let me see if PTB is available yet. And also I was getting booped because apparently my Factor sponsorship was supposed to start yesterday, but for some reason I wrote down the 16th, but it was the 13th. So I've got to start my stuff. So much stuff happening. Okay, but What the Fog? What the Fog looks so cute. So cute. And I got a code. I found it. So I think that I might try to do... So obviously I kind of have to focus... So we're playing tomorrow. No, so obviously I have to focus on Texas until the tournament. But after Thursday, I think this weekend, we play some What the Fog towards the end of a stream. I think that would be a lot of fun. A lot of switching between DBD and TCM going forward. Will we be seeing different stream days? I don't know, wrestling. I haven't really put too much thought into it. I kind of just go with the flow. I decided on a whim that I was gonna wake up early for the anniversary stream today. So I'm not too sure. So we have kind of like the next few weeks pretty booked. So it will be kind of like if we can fit in some DBD stuff too. We're going to be playing the PTB for a bit today. But as far as like the next few weeks, we have a TCM tournament on Thursday, which I don't even usually stream on Thursdays, but that's going to be a whole thing. And then in just 2 weeks, we have Killer Clowns coming out, And so for Killer Clowns, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be streaming pretty much just Killer Clowns for like a week. And just kind of see, you know, if I like it, if the community likes it, get like a bunch of content for Killer Clowns, learn the game, learn the characters, all that. And then after that, I kind of have to figure out, you know, what kind of mix we're going to do between TCM, Killer Clowns, DBD. I have never had this many games that I want to play at once. So it's like a little bit overwhelming. To be perfectly honest with you, it's a little overwhelming. So, but yeah, so all I can say is if you guys enjoy me, my content, ASIMS, make sure you're following. I stream Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, Mondays, and Tuesdays around noon. And just like show up and hopefully I'm playing something you like. I'll do my best, okay? That's all I can say I can do. You know, I'll do my best to like get content for all the games and all the things. And DBD came out swinging. I think DBD is going to bring back a lot of their veteran players with their new content. It's really exciting, Rugen, but like I said, I get overwhelmed really easily, so I'm like, we gotta like figure stuff out. One woman armies, pretty much, yeah, pretty much. What's the new stuff coming for DBD? Garen, there was 2 hours of new stuff coming to DPT. Hold on. Let me get my Spark notes. All right. Anniversary stream. Dungeons and Dragons, Vecna. Wait, hold on. Are you guys ready for the summary? Or are you guys going to ask me in 2 minutes for a summary? Are you guys ready to listen to the summary? Because I have it in front of me. Okay. Dungeons and Dragons coming to DBD, new chapter. It's the PTB is out today. Going to be out in like 5 minutes. Killer's Vecna. Survivor is a bard, which has 2 cosmetics. One is a female elf bard, and one is a male human bard. DBD dice set in the merch store, mystery box in the merch store, 2v8 mode coming to you this summer. 2 killers, 8 survivors. Hi, honey. Hi, my honeys. The killers are going to be, I think they said like 5 original characters, probably like the OG characters, I would guess. They said Huntress, they said Hillbilly, they said Wraith. I don't know what the other ones are going to be, but I'm super excited for that. Then the Twisted Masquerade. In-game event. Doesn't have a date here. Doesn't have a date for that. I think that's in June. I'm pretty sure the Twisted Masquerade's in June. Twitch drops. Watch streamers for 1 hour, 4 hours, 8 hours. Get your free stuff. What the Fog? Coming to you now. Has it been officially confirmed that they're out of free codes? Hey on top, how you doing? Welcome on in. I think it was June 13th or 14th. Okay. So mid-June for that. What the Fog looks like a really, really cute game. It has Dwight. It has Claude. They showed Fang. It doesn't seem like Fang's a main character you can play, but I don't know. They showed Fang in the gameplay. I heard online you could just keep refreshing. Eventually you get a code, but I could be wrong. Someone in chat said that they got through the website and it said they were out of codes, but I have no confirmation on that. It's the first 5 original killers. Oh no, you're saying the first 5 original killers were Trapper, Wraith, Billy, Huntress, and Nurse. So I guess potentially the other 2 could be Trapper and Nurse. I guess we'll find out. But yeah, so if you go to Behavior's website, you can try to get a free What the Fog game code. If you can't get the free one, it's like $4.99 on Steam. It looks really cute. It's just like a really cute game. It's really cute. Endless Hunt Pack is now out on all platforms. It includes 9 playable characters from Portrait of a Murder, Roots of Dread, Forge and Fog, Tools of Torment, along with additional outfits and exclusive DLC items. Learn more on August 6th about the surprise they had at the end of the stream, Dead by Daylight Castlevania. We also saw the casting of Frank Stone, which is going to be a Until Dawn-esque game in the DBD universe. So that's really exciting. And then lastly was Project T, which is a PvE game in the DBD multiverse or universe that is still very much in development. So yeah, that's my synopsis.